Ladies, and welcome to another episode of the Tracy Gold Show. And today we are speaking about clean beauty, because what is it anyway? Is it really important? And what do we need to know when it comes to choosing the products that we put on our body and in our body? And today we have an amazing guest, Jill Kay, and I see she's already sent the request, which is fabulous. I love it when everything works. Is from Arbonne International, and she's going to be giving us some insight as to what we need to look for when we are purchasing our products. So I'm very excited. We'll just see what's happening. Okay, just a second. It looks like I might have to send it again. Okay, Jill, I'm going to send it to you. Send a request to you quickly. And it's like, yay, how are you?
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Jill. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So, Jill, tell us a little bit about, because, we'll get into the tips on clean beauty and everything, but I want to hear a little bit about your story and, how you started using clean beauty, how you started understanding the importance of it. Just give us the rundown of who you are.
Okay, so I'm Jill. I live in Westchester, New York. I have two grown kids in their 20s. I have a fairly new husband. We've been married about 2.5 years, so second.
Yay!
And before I had my children, I had a career in advertising. I was a TV producer, and I left that to raise them. And of course, while I was home with them, taking care of the kids, taking care of the house, even though it was a full-time job, you're not getting paid for it. And
Yeah.
I totally blindsided by divorce, and I had to go back to work, and I did not really, going back to my previous career wasn't an option. And this is when I introduced to Arbonne, which is a health and wellness company. At the time, I knew nothing about clean beauty, clean skincare, but I am so grateful that I was introduced to this, because if I knew now what I knew then, I would have never have used on my kids and on myself the products that I was using. So
Yeah.
kind of
So tell me a little bit about that awakening and that awareness. So obviously you started looking at this from a business perspective and a necessity, and I think, Jill, your story is the story of many women, right? They stay home and are, I hate when women say, I'm just a housewife, or I'm just a mother, or because that is such a massive job. It is, and it's a 24/7, 7 days a week kind of job, right? But then, your husband leaves you, you now have to reinvent yourself. So how did that feel? How did that process happen for you?
it was terrible. I mean, it was a I mean, now looking back, hindsight is 2020. It was the best thing that could
Sure.
happen.
Yes.
But at the time, it was a terrible feeling. I had no idea what I was going to do. And, I had no idea that, he was divorce planning, and I was really left in the position where I needed something to, not just for myself, but really for my kids. And I couldn't crumble, because I needed to be there for them. I needed to be strong for them.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, so it was not fun at the time, but, women are resilient, women are really strong. And, you know, and I think what it did is it really showed my children that, life happens, and especially for my
Yes.
daughter, how important it is really to have something of your own.
Yes.
And they don't even remember a time when I wasn't working, which is pretty.
Wow.
I know. They don't remember it at all, which is really interesting. As far as they know, like I've always been working.
Mm. Jill,
So
how old were they at the time?
10 and 8.
Okay, so they were old enough to remember you not working, and yet in their mind, they see you now as mom, working mom, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I would
Yeah.
think that they would be old enough to remember. I don't know if they blocked it out or what, but they don't remember a time when I did not have my career.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
And so Jill, how did that feel for you? I mean, how many years? So you must have been out of the advertising industry for a long time. I mean, 12 years is a long time, especially for such a fast moving industry. And, depending on when it was that transitioned out of that, a lot has changed. So
This way,
how did you, yeah.
I left, everything was on 3/4 inch tape. And by the time
Wow. Wow.
in, it was a whole new ball game. And even though, I left it, as an executive producer in a top firm up here, I'd be going back and relearning everything and
Wow.
scratch. So
Yeah, yeah. And so how did you even begin that process of now discovering something that you can do that's going to bring in an income and bring it in now? Because it sounds like you had to move fairly quickly with the trauma of your marriage ending, with two young children, and then having to
and selling
make it happen.
having to relocate, and everything was
Wow.
it's actually a crazy story. I was looking for a job, like something I could do part-time while the kids were still in school, but I realized that doing something like that, I wouldn't be making enough money.
Yes.
Actually, my father, who heard about Arbonne, he was working on a project with an executive in the music industry, and people do Arbonne really as their side hustle. We have doctors and lawyers and bankers and real estate agents and people from all walks of life, whether it's a plan B or just had to diversify. So she had told him that she recently started another business for an additional income stream, and he said, "You should take my daughter." And that's
wow.
So yeah, right place, right time.
Wow. Amazing. And then in the interim, as you start building your business, you also come upon this whole thing of clean beauty and what that can do for your life. So how did that, because that was the first question I asked, and then we moved on to your your reinvention story, which is amazing. So how did that also change your life, Jill?
Absolutely. I mean, at the time, I had never heard of Arbonne, and I knew nothing about clean beauty, and I knew nothing about the ingredients that were going into our products. I just thought if they were expensive, they must be good. If they were
Wow.
high end in department stores. And I was just using really whatever I thought, smelled the best and was advertised to be the best. Although coming from a background in advertising, I should have known, I don't think, these models and these celebrities that are paid millions and millions to endorse certain products are necessarily using the products they're endorsing.
Yeah, in fact, I have a very good friend of mine who was a supermodel in the 80s, and she said that, these adverts that were done with, say, a particular makeup brand, she would get there for the shoot, and the makeup artist wasn't using that makeup.
Yep.
Even for the photographs that are advertising that makeup brand, they weren't using those cosmetics. They weren't using those products. And I thought, wow,
I get
that's something.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So, it was an education, and the first thing I did when I learned about the ingredients, that there's something called there's a dirty dozen, and there are some top ingredients that you really don't want in your products. One of them being parabens, which has been linked to cancer, phthalates, which are known hormone disruptors. I didn't know any of this. So the first thing I did was I went through my bathroom and I went to all my cleansers and, what I was using to wash my face and wash my body and my makeup. And I just turned the labels around, and I became a label reader, and I basically threw everything out when and I was using a cleanser that my dermatologist had recommended.
See, now that I find so interesting, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted you to come onto the show and talk about clean beauty, because I was listening to on a news station on YouTube, and they were talking about what is clean beauty, because it's become a big buzzword now, Jill. I mean, I'm sure you're aware of that. It's like, oh, it's clean. And then, also even the vegan thing is now becoming, I'm seeing, sort of beauty brands say, oh, it's vegan, but whether it's still tested on animals is another question, because if it's actually exported to China, then it is tested on animals, because by law they anything goes into China, it has to be tested.
Exactly.
So what I thought was very interesting was that in the broadcast, in this news broadcast, they were saying, well, yes, it is confusing about clean beauty, but don't use anything that your dermatologist, go to your dermatologist and get the rundown. And I thought, well, that's kind of silly. Like, I just thought that doesn't really make sense to me. As a consumer, that doesn't make sense to me, because it depends on also the philosophy that your dermatologist has, right?
Absolutely. And if the dermatologist, my ex-husband was a doctor, and I know that he would prescribe certain medicines and give certain medicines based on what the reps were giving them. And it's not, I wouldn't trust, I do have a dermatologist, and I love my dermatologist, and I go for my yearly, body checks and everything, but I don't necessarily use what they would recommend that I wash my hands.
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting.
And
So it's
about vegan also, it's true, because many brands are vegan. Arbonne is a vegan brand, but we are also cruelty free, because like you said, some brands could be vegan but not cruelty free, or
yes.
they're sourcing their ingredients from third party companies that test on animals. So
Yes.
you really have to do your research and dig deep, and if you are vegan and you are passionate about using vegan products and using cruelty-free products, to really dig deep and make sure everything is up on the up.
Yeah. And Jill, so I am vegan and I live a vegan lifestyle. So I take that to the, I don't use any products. I don't purchase any products that are tested on animals. And I really prefer to use only products that are vegan. So they aren't tested on animals, plus they are vegan, because then I know that there's really no cruelty involved.
Right.
And I found some amazing websites. So there are, there's PETA, which is a very good resource. There's something called an elephant. There's like a something elephant, but you can Google. If you Google, there are some amazing resources that will help you to find like the best vegan mascara, the best, and it will give you the rundown. Is it vegan? Is it cruelty free? And they do the proper testing, and I trust them. So that takes a lot of the guesswork out, because I think it is pretty overwhelming. Like, I remember at one stage we were all thinking that alcohol in products was absolutely terrible. Then I find out, well, there's different forms of alcohol, and some are drying to your skin and some aren't. So like, how do you know? So what are the things, you mentioned parabens, and I think that there has been a greater awareness around the danger of parabens, because we're seeing, a lot of products are saying, well, they're paraben free, and they're gluten free, and they're vegan. So what are the kind of things that we want to look out for on our labels?
One of the things that I found most surprising was mineral oil, because I used to think if my products had mineral oil in them, and I'm not going to name specific brands, but most American products are mineral oil based. So I thought, oh, my products have mineral oil. Minerals, they come from the earth. It's healthy. It's not.
Yes.
What I learned is one of the most toxic ingredients. It's and not only being toxic, it's the second leading cause of aging next to the sun.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So mineral oil.
So that goes against the whole,
it's
anti-aging, which I hate that terminology. Plus, then they're actually giving us something that's aging us.
Right. Everybody ages. It's a fact of life, but we say,
of course,
healthy aging.
Yes.
So what mineral oil is, it comes from the distillation of gasoline. It's a derivative of gasoline. So if you think about it, if you think about gasoline and it says petroleum jelly, that's what it is, petroleum. So anything that has mineral oil or petrolatum or petroleum, that's what it comes from. And, aside from that it's coming from gasoline, it's a very occlusive oil. So, its molecules are larger than your pores. So if you use any products that have mineral oil in it, and it could have other great ingredients, it could have vitamin D and vitamin E. The mineral oil is like wrapping your skin in saran wrap. So the products stay on top of your skin. So none of the good is going to be absorbed, but more importantly, it doesn't let your skin breathe. And that's the main function of your skin, is to release toxins through our pores, through sweating. So if you use any products with mineral oil, and that's why skincare products with mineral oil cause people to break out, because it blocks the pores.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to
Wow.
stay away from parabens, phthalates, mineral oil, talc, what else? There's actually,
Also fragrance, so synthetic fragrance. I started understanding that, and especially Jill, I think this is very relevant for us women at this age, although it's for everybody, right? Because we don't want hormone disruptors even at a young age, and we certainly don't want to give our young kids hormone disruptors. But I started to understand that synthetic fragrance is actually really, really lethal
it's
because it can disrupt our hormones.
absolutely. And if a product says either fragrance or perfume, that's like an umbrella word. It could have a million different ingredients under that. And those ingredients are really what cause what contain the phthalates, because phthalates come from the plastic family of BPA. And it's like if you leave a bottle of water, a plastic water in your car and it gets really hot and they say don't do that because the BPA leaches into the water. That's
Yes.
what phthalates do. Phthalates, it's a binding ingredient and it sticks fragrance to the so I always recommend you don't want to use products that have any artificial fragrance. Everything should come from whatever natural botanicals or sources that they're using.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, if a product says that there's if fragrance is removed or there's no fragrance, there is some type of I'm not quite sure exactly of the mechanism how they do that, but they do use other ingredients to pull the fragrance out that aren't necessarily healthy for you either. And we know our skin is our largest organ.
Yes.
Right? Everything we put on our skin at some point goes into our body. That's why people use patches so much for pain medication, smoking, pregnancy, because transdermally it's a quicker delivery system than taking pills. So people are trying to live a healthy lifestyle and they're eating healthy and they're eating clean and they're exercising, but then they're going home and they're taking showers and using body wash and shampoo and moisturizer and makeup and all these products. Deodorant's a huge one with you don't want to be having aluminum and paraben in deodorant. And then products that have these hidden toxins.
Yes.
And not aware that, and they're using them on a daily basis. And over time, it's building up. And if you're using mineral oil, it's being trapped in. There's a very, very good documentary on Amazon called Toxic Beauty.
Okay.
I highly recommend everybody watch this. And I tell people, when you watch this, you'll realize why I'm so passionate about doing what I started my business purely for financial reasons. I needed to make money. And as time went on, I really, really became so passionate now about spreading the word to others. And that is a great, great documentary.
That's great. Yeah. So Jill, I want to ask you, because I think that sometimes we kind of get caught up in the fear of everything, right? So like everything is cancer forming, and then and then we got to take supplements, and we got to do this, and we got to do that, and I kind of feel like it's over the top. I mean, I've spoken to some people and go, oh, but did you know that this affects that, and then that can cause cancer? I'm like, really? Especially with what's happened this in this last year, and there's survival, there's dealing with the day to day, and busy moms dealing with their kids, dealing with their grandkids. How can we kind of empower ourselves with the knowledge that we need without getting caught up in the whole fear mongering of it? Because I do think it can be pretty paralyzing, and then we're afraid to use anything, and that's also not good. I don't think fear is very good for our immune system.
Right, exactly. Do your research, become a label reader. What's interesting is, over in the European Union, they ban over 1,400 ingredients that can go in personal care products. Here in the US, do you want to guess how many are banned here in the US?
I actually know, because there's 10.
11.
It was shocking to me. And in fact, the last time they banned one was like in 1973, the year I was born.
Yeah, from
I mean,
the laws have not changed since the 1930s. Wow. The laws have not changed since the 1930s. So I recommend people, really to do your research, find a company or a brand that adheres not only to the European Union, but maybe goes above and beyond. And
Yes.
stands, and then you know that you don't even have to be a label reader, because if you're using products from a company that is a clean company that, you know, bans everything that is not allowed and that could be toxic and harmful, then you just know anything you're going to use is going to be fine. You don't have to drive yourself crazy.
Yes, that has definitely been something. I mean, I learned that recently as well about the EU. And so that is something that has been a very, very helpful marker for me, because it is overwhelming and you read a label and the things look like Greek. I mean, like, I don't know. And I used to be like, oh, alcohol. Well, then I realized, well, there's different types of alcohol, and some of them actually work as a preservative, which is better to have in there rather than something synthetic, you know. So it was like this whole thing of becoming aware of labels, and I am a label reader. However, I did find that a very helpful tip. If something is being sold in the EU, is released in the EU, or meets the EU standards, and then also, like you say, is claiming to be clean, is claiming to have no harmful chemicals in it, and that kind of thing, that's better than most, right?
Absolutely. And what's interesting as well, there are products that are available in Europe that are sold here in the United States, different formulation. So
wow. Okay.
So if you buy, you know, if you buy, let's say a brand moisturizer here,
Yes.
and the same moisturizer is sold there, or blush, or, you know, any product, it's a different formulation because we have different laws, and they can get away with it here. So you have to be careful too. Yeah.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about Arbonne and why you're so passionate about this particular brand of product.
Absolutely. Well, I'm passionate about the brand because it absolutely changed my life. You know, so this really, I'm so passionate about it. But I'm passionate about the brand as well because, as I said, we're vegan certified, we're cruelty-free certified, and we don't source from any place that, you know, from anything that does test on animals.
Yes.
Everything is sustainably sourced. We're a B certified corporation, which is extremely important, especially, you know, if you care not only about being good to yourself, but also being good to the planet.
Yes.
Yes. So we're a B certified corporation, and we have a lot of certifications, in addition to being certified vegan and certified cruelty-free. We're certified gluten-free. So people who might have sensitivity to gluten or have celiac disease not only need to eat gluten-free, but they need to also use products.
I learned that recently, which I thought was very interesting. Even like the hair products that I use is gluten-free, and they were saying because of your scalp, you know, you're using them on your scalp, and that will penetrate, because once again, our skin is our biggest organ.
Right, and people who don't realize that body washes and moisturizers and different products have gluten in it. It's a filler. Just, you know, and the fact that our products are so clean, we ban over 2,000 harmful ingredients. We do go 600 and more above and beyond the European Union, and we do ban over 2,000 ingredients. And the products are efficacious. They do what they say they're going to do. I joke with people, I say I'm 86 years old, but I'm not really. But
you're looking good for 86.
The products, they work, and we have a wide range of products. So our skincare, for instance, we have something for everybody in the family. We have a full baby line, and I know, you know, with moms, especially now, young moms are more savvy than when I was a young mom, and they're to use clean, healthy products on their babies. So we have a full baby line. We have a men's line, a teen line, a healthy aging line. We don't say anti-aging.
I love that. I love that. I'm banning anti-aging from my vocabulary. I only use it in inverted commas now.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we have a full nutrition line, which is non-GMO and certified non-GMO, certified low glycemic, certified vegan, of course, but certified kosher, certified halal, like everything that people are looking for. And a full nutrition line, makeup products, hair products. So it's really one-stop shopping.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, I love the whole community of the other the people that I work with, and really the passion that Arbonne has of, like I said, not just, you know, being good to ourselves. It's not just about profit. It's really about being good to the planet. And being a certified B Corporation is something that we take very seriously and that we're proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, going forward, I think that's, I mean, even with what's happening in the government and administration, is that they're looking at ways of being more clean energy and more sustainable, and, you know, and taking care of our planet. And I think we've realized that more now than ever before, the importance of taking care of our planet, taking care of ourselves, and taking care of each other, right? And that fits in with your values. And I think, Jill, you know, I think that that's one of the things that's come up in a couple of the interviews as well on this show, is the power that we have as consumers, and as women especially, because we make the buying decisions in our families.
Absolutely.
We know, you know, we are the ones that are choosing where we spend our dollars, and we really can vote with our dollars. And I think that that's more powerful than anything. If we start to say, well, we want clean, we want things without harmful chemicals. Yes, we are going to educate ourselves and know what is what is in our products, so that we can be wise. And I think it's a very powerful thing that we have in our wheel, that we can. True. How rude.
But it is right.
Sorry about that, Jill.
Willing to make the decisions, and it's just pivoting. It's just making a pivot, which we all, you know, made huge pivots this past year. But, you know,
Yes.
it's not necessarily trying anything new. It's using products we're already using anyway. It's just maybe redirecting to cleaner, healthier products.
That's it. Exactly. So that's awesome. So Jill, for those people who want to contact you and hear more about Arbonne or Clean Beauty or whatever, what is the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, and I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has, and would love to help anybody. They can go to my website, which is jillk.com. It's JILLKAY.com. You can connect with me on Instagram. My email, my cell, everything is on my website and on my Instagram. So those are probably the best ways to get in touch with me. And I would love to help in any way that I can.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jill. And just for those of you who are new to the show, you can actually just follow the page, Tracy Gold Show, and we go live Tuesday to Friday at 1 p.m. EDT. Just to make a note, though, that my interview tomorrow has been postponed, so we'll see you again on Tuesday, not tomorrow. And I look forward to seeing you next time. And for those of you who are watching the replay, if you have any questions, please feel free to put in the comments, and I will forward them to Jill, and she'll be able to deal with you directly if necessary.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Jill, so much. I really appreciate your approach and your passion and hearing your story. It's been fabulous. Have a good day.
Thank you so much. You too. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.